To give us more on this, we're joined by COPE's General Secretary, Papi Kganare. Good evening, sir. Thanks very much for your time. I remember in the last election, your re-elected leader, Mosiuoa Lekota, had to literally eat a hat with tomato sauce because he had insisted that you would never fall below your 2009 threshold. Of course, he was wrong. How do you rate your chances this time around?
Our chances are far more better this time because if you remember, the first 5 years of COPE was really a battleground where we spent more time in court than building the party. So the last 5 years, we have been building the party, uniting the party, and we just had a very successful National Congress. And we also introduced the process of one member, one vote, which is unheard of in South Africa, where all our members participated in the elections of the national leadership. At the moment, South Africans knows that we have been consistent. We are the only political party which has been consistent on principal issues up to now. Other parties flip-flops. It depends on who they are addressing. We have been quite consistent in saying South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white, and no government can claim authority unless it's based on the will of the people. Our definition of our people has always been the same. We have never changed on our definition of who our people are. All South Africans are our people. We believe that there was injustice of the past. They must be addressed, but we believe that it should be done constitutionally and legally, and we believe that our constitution is the best vehicle through which we can redress the imbalances of the past and the injustices of the past.
I'm no student of history, but I don't know of a party that can drop from 37 to 3 MPs and one in a space of 5 years that's been able to recover as miraculously as you seem to suggest that you're going to be able to do.
We are going to be able to recover because, one, if you look at the votes we got during the local government elections, we increased the number of votes which we got from 2014. And consistently, South Africans have been saying, these are the people who are quite consistent and they can be trusted, that what they say is what they believe in.
We'll see if they will indeed give you those votes. But are you open to coalitions? And if so, do you have preferred potential partners?
Look, we are open to coalition. But we have got to have, our coalition should be principled coalition. It cannot be coalition which is based on enriching ourselves. As we have seen, some coalitions now, you look at Tshwane, you look at Johannesburg, it's very clear that there is something not going well there. As far as we are concerned, our coalition will depend on whether people agree on the defense of our constitution, protection of our constitution, equality before the law, not as slogans, but as principles and how South Africa should be guided.
Well, speaking of which, I mean, last year you quoted a rather, shall we say, interesting bedfellows. I mean, you went to AfriForum's march as well as Tukom Fonk's march on, I mean, the AfriForum one was on land expropriation without compensation, and the Tukom Fonk one was around farm killings. How far does this Dunadering go?
Look, as far as we are concerned, as I said, we are all South Africans first, before we become Xhosas or Botswana or what. We are all South Africans. And if, at the moment, anybody who agrees with us that our constitution is in danger and it must be defended, it must be protected, that's what we agree upon. We have learned these lessons from how the United Democratic Front was formed. The United Democratic Front was not formed on the basis of the differences, but on what brought us together at that particular time.
You're not here exploiting white fears around expropriation and hoping that your AfriForums and Tukom Fonks will then bring you a portion, at least, of the white electorate.
Look, as far as we are concerned, we believe that Section 25 of the Constitution must be implemented. That includes land reform. So if you have got to implement land reform, you have got to affect the interests of the previously oppressed people, that they must have access to land. But where do we differ with other people is that it must be done recklessly, the way it is done. Other political parties are saying should be done. We believe that there was injustice, and that should be addressed. But it must be addressed legally and constitutionally. So we are not trying to build on the fears of white people. But we have got to say very clearly, the white people have got the right to be in South Africa like black people have got the right to be in South Africa. This was said a long time ago at the Congress of the People in Kliptown. Therefore, as far as we are concerned, we have got all equal rights. And as much as we opposed apartheid because it was oppressing black people, we will oppose any racism from any quarter against our white compatriots. Not because we like whites more than we like blacks. We like South Africans as South Africans.
Very briefly, before I let you go, you are the person running the party. Election campaigns don't come cheap, and there's a new law, as you know, which requires political parties to disclose their sources of funding. And this is a question to every political party that's coming here. Who is funding your political party and how?
Our members are funding political parties, our political party. There might be some individual South Africans who have contributed money to us, but we are not having any slush fund anywhere. We will depend on our own members, we will depend on South Africans, but if organizations are prepared to fund us, we are not having fear of disclosing who they are, because it's important in the light of what is happening in South Africa presently that we should be transparent.
That's where we're going to leave it. Papi Khanare, who is the Secretary General of COPE, and of course, as with everybody else, ENCA will, of course, later on interrogate COPE's promises. That's once their election manifesto is launched.